Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we have Divisional Round football to cover. Again, yeah, it was the Divisional Round this past weekend. The video is actually going to be out pretty late. We had 4 games. Most of them were good. I will say the Lions kind of disappointed me this week, but the other games were pretty good. So we're just going to kind of get through them, talk about the top performers, kind of the storylines. You guys know how these recaps go. You guys have been here long enough. I'm sure most of you have been kind of watching my weekly videos throughout the season. So let's get it. Now, it obviously hurts that this is the first week of football that I won't be talking about the Packers. Again, we will talk about every game though, because this is the Divisional Round and there were only 4 games. So we're going to start Saturday, January 18th games. We have the Texans and the Chiefs starting out. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce helped the Chiefs to a 9-point win over the Texans and another AFC title game trip. And obviously, at this point in his career and how early he is in his career, just fantastic numbers for Patrick Mahomes. I know people say, oh, glazed by the refs, and I am in that camp to a regard, in regards to that at times. Genuinely, one of the best quarterbacks of all time already, and he's only like 8 years, maybe 9 years into his career. It's insane. Patrick Mahomes has never lost in the Divisional Round of the playoffs with the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that's ridiculous, Obviously, Boyd shoved the coach after the unsportsmanlike penalty. The Texans had all sorts of inner turmoils, just turmoils of making mistakes this game, all sorts of stuff, Came out firing on all cylinders, though. I mean, the Chiefs, and especially Travis Kelce, having one of his most impressive games we have seen in a very long time, and it's awesome to see. The Chiefs are just dominant in the playoffs. That's just the nature of this team. They don't look great in the regular season usually. Then they get to the playoffs and they're just exceptional. They just lock in. They have that gene, and you just have to be perfect to beat them in the playoffs. You obviously look at some of the performers. CJ Stroud actually played pretty good. I mean, people were hating on him, but 19 for 28 through 245 yards. Didn't get in the end zone, which obviously hurt a little bit. Patrick Mahomes, 16 for 25, 177 yards and a touchdown. Not very impressive, really, but it's just they know how to win games. They've been here before. Kareem Hunt had 8 carries, 44 yards and a touchdown. Had a couple big rushes, a couple big plays for the Chiefs. You get Joe Mixon getting in the end zone. Nico Collins had a good game, 5 catches for 81 yards. The MVP of this game, though, is Travis Kelce. I mean, 7 catches, 117 yards and a touchdown is just sensational. So shout out to the Chiefs. I know it's annoying with like the Caitlin Clark and the Taylor Swift stuff, but they deserve it, man. They played to win this game. Man, coming up next, bittersweet. I loved the Washington Commanders winning this game against the Lions. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders stunned the top-seeded Lions. They win by 14. They reached the NFC Championship game. We're talking about a team that went 4-13 the year before, and now they're divisional champions. They're going to the NFC Championship game. Jaden Daniels and the nothing-to-lose Washington Commanders sent the top-seeded Detroit Lions to a stunningly swift playoff exit. You got to feel for guys like MMG and those Lions fans that were hyping up this team all year, saying they were for sure going to go to the Super Bowl. The question now is, can a rookie Jaden Daniels lead the Commanders to a Super Bowl? Obviously, the Eagles are going to be a tough task, but I'm going to be very interested to see how that game turns out. And I think like at the ceiling, Jaden Daniels does have potential to win the Super Bowl, just because the lack of mistakes and just his swiftness. I mean, he's such a great football player. He is a pro already. Like he knows it all. It's crazy. It's awesome. I love the spark from this team. I love just the young energy. It's a very fun team to watch. And Jaden Daniels, man, 22 for 31, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just an absolutely sensational performance in the Divisional Round. Jared Goff, kind of a disaster class. I mean, 23 for 40, 313 yards and a touchdown, but he had 3 interceptions. He had a fumble, all sorts of different mistakes for the Lions, just making them lose the game. Brian Robinson Jr. had an incredible performance, 15 catches, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, insane as well. This was a really awesome offensive game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 14 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Insane. And, the Commanders have a very underrated piece in De'Ami Brown, who's been playing insane. I keep using that word, but he's been playing incredible recently. I mean, 6 catches for 98 yards this game. You get Amon-Ra St. Brown going 8 catches, 137 yards. Like, that guy did all he could, but it's just the Commanders. Again, a lack of mistakes. Obviously, their defense raises some questions, allowing 31 points, but that's the Lions' offense. They do have a tougher offense than the Eagles coming up. We will see how they deal with that. Next up, we have the Rams and the Eagles, and this is one of the more frustrating games of the week. I wanted the Rams to win this bad, not just because the Eagles beat the Packers, but like Eagles fans, they're so unbearable on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Didn't happen though. Saquon Barkley runs for 78 and 62-yard touchdowns in the snow, and the Eagles top the Rams. They win by 6 to head to the NFC title game. Saquon Barkley blew through a hole and ran untouched in the winner. He mixed the Eagles' 2,000-yard rusher, smacking his helmet with his hands on his final snowy steps. That guy's incredible. I mean, dashing through the snow, and just how impressive he moved through the snow. It was insane. It was an awesome sight to see. He's a sensational player. He had one of the best rushing seasons we've seen in recent history. It's great. You know, obviously the Eagles defense came up big, iced him up. Huge mistake by the center on the Rams. I'm pretty pissed about that. Instead of blocking Jalen Carter, the most dominant player on their defensive line, he went to double. I don't know why that happened, but they clinched a spot in the NFC title game. You know, that drive though, I mean, Matthew Stafford, shout out to him for the effort on that drive. That was not on him. Puka Nacua, crazy catch, all that stuff. Obviously, you know, 2 fumbles in the second quarter killed their comeback a little bit, and Matthew Stafford made some mistakes. I'm not denying that. Demarcus Robinson had a crazy catch where he ripped it away from the defender. Great catching from the Rams. Like, they performed. Like, they came out there to play. Matthew Stafford, 26 for 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, and it just shows the privilege of Jalen Hurts of having this offense. I mean, the guy threw 15 for 20. Really didn't amount to much. You have Saquon Barkley going 26 carries, 205 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What other team in the league has that privilege? Maybe the Ravens. Maybe. Kyron Williams, 19 carries, 106 yards. Great game for him. Puka Nacua had 6 catches for 97 yards, and another pretty good game for Dallas Goedert, 4 catches, 56 yards, which for not having much of a pass game that game, he was playing really good, and shout out to Dallas Goedert. So obviously the Eagles deserve the spot, but man, the Rams definitely choked that a little bit. And man, speaking of chokes in these playoffs so far, I gotta tell you, this Ravens-Bills might take the cake. Holy cow. We're gonna talk about Mark Andrews. Man, well, let's just talk about it real quick. So Josh Allen scores 2 touchdowns. The Bills forced 3 turnovers to beat the Ravens by 2. They reached the AFC title game. Obviously, this was the most hyped up game of the weekend. It didn't disappoint. This was a pretty good game, but Josh Allen heard the MVP chants directed at him from the stands, but Buffalo's quarterback deflected the credit following the Bills' hard-fought victory in the divisional playoff round, giving all the credit to Lamar Jackson. Because yeah, Lamar is under a lot of heat, under a lot of scrutiny after losing this game, but Mark Andrews, are you serious? That fucking drop. Clutch touchdown, huge throw by Lamar. You get into 2-point conversion formation. Easy pass. Obviously, you're stumbling backwards. Like, that's not a super easy catch, but it was a perfect pass, and you drop it. I don't even know. Again, you know, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, the mutual respect is there. Gotta love to see it. 2 of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. It's awesome. And Mark Andrews even fumbling. That was their 3rd turnover up to that point. A lot of turnovers kind of just cost them. And when you're playing a team like the Bills, who doesn't make mistakes often, that's gonna cost you really. Obviously, Derrick Henry was getting in the end zone. Josh Allen running and getting in the end zone. This game really showed how much of a rush threat he is. That was awesome. But man, Lamar Jackson, 18 for 25, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but again, this shows the privilege of, like, I don't even know. It's such a weird thing because Josh Allen threw 16 for 22, again, similar to the last game with Jalen Hurts, but didn't do much, you know? So I don't really know what to think there. Derrick Henry had 16 carries, 84 yards and a touchdown, did just about what he could do. Isaiah Likely, 4 catches, 73 yards and a touchdown. Is it time to move on from Mark Andrews? I mean, my God, Isaiah Likely's their guy for sure. Shout out to Khalil Shakir, of course, 6 catches, 67 yards, good game for him, but I don't know what you do from here with Mark Andrews. Went from being a Pro Bowler to some off years here and there, and now it's like, what do we do? So very disappointing game for the Ravens, but this game definitely could have went either way anyways. Well, fellas, that's all I have for this week of divisional action. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You know, just discuss all the games you want. I will reply to them if I see them. Shout out to you guys for sticking with me throughout the year. Just gonna kind of get this video going, probably edit it for about 20-30 minutes, and then I gotta go to class a couple times, and I gotta go to the gym, but I will be trying to get this out by tomorrow morning before I go to class. Well, actually, tomorrow morning I have to go to class, like, in the morning, so I don't even know. I'll probably be up, like, half asleep. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been your boy GZTV. Every week we come here, we do these recap videos. It's a fun time. I hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, the conference championship is coming up, and we have Commanders, Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, so those 2 games we will cover in the next week. Videos are getting shorter, of course, because the rounds are shorter, and obviously for the Pro Bowl, we will be taking a week off. Squid Game video is out as well. Go check all that stuff out. I'm out, guys.